I just want to update our staff on how we're going to be operating headed into next week moving forward. Typically, our workday around the studio begins at around 4 o'clock a.m. when our staff clocks in for the day. We then go forward with our live telecommunication services at around 5 o'clock a.m. after our paid programming block has ended. We then film our live interviews or select pre-recorded interviews to go alongside our live news content at around 11 o'clock a.m. and continue reporting on the news and working with our services until 9 to 10 o'clock p.m. when staff looks off for the day. Recently, COVID-19 has changed all of that. We have had to work from home and shut our studio down for the last 5 months. But the local government has allowed for our studios to reopen back up. Of course, with stricter precautions. Now, some people might be asking what these precautions are exactly and how they're going to work. Well, starting next week, we will be continuing operations from our studio with limited staff. We'll be doing our interviews from home using the Zoom application, and we will be, for our workers who are still allowed to work at the studio, implementing stricter precautions for those working at the studio backstage. In terms of our staff, we will be working at limited capacity, only allowing 50% of our workers to re-enter the building again because the CDC has yet to lift their orders of social distancing for citizens and workers. For our interviews, we will be using the Zoom application because we feel that it is the most easiest to manage and the best application for at-home interviews. For the workers who are not allowed to re-enter the studio again until this pandemic clears, they will be required to operate and manage the interviews through Zoom and make sure that the quality of audio and connection is good. The most important thing in terms of news is interviews and making sure we get that connection through. For those workers who are allowed back into the studio, they will be required to wear a mask backstage unless they're either eating, drinking, or reporting news in front of a camera. They'll also be required to socially distance at all times. If one is confused on how to exactly social distance, we will have markers, ground markers down on the ground, and supervisors who will make sure that everybody is social distancing. Some people may be asking if these precautions are exactly necessary. They are necessary. Recent COVID-19 trends from CNN report that there have been over 66,000 cases of COVID-19 reported on a daily basis. And that is with multiple businesses implementing similar precautions and policies. We have to follow these policies exactly if we want a chance at being safe. So that is why some people who may be asking, why is this urgent? That is why it is necessary. Some people may be asking what the precautions are. Like I said earlier, they're limited to mainly staff shortages, 50% capacity, Zoom interviews, and backstage precautions. We have to follow these precautions exactly to a T if we want to stay safe. That is something that won't change though through this crazy year we've been going through, is safety. That is the number one policy here. If anyone feels threatened, we always make sure we can comfort them and make them feel safe. That is something that is going to stay the same throughout this entire pandemic and after this pandemic is over. It's been that way before, and it will be that way forever. Safety is our number one priority here. And if we follow precautions and make sure that we're all safe. We'll get through this together.